Let there be peace and love. Welcome to Satsang. As long as one considers that there are banks and a river, there will be experiences of in and out. Sometimes I'm myself and sometimes not. And that will not be solved if there is still banks and river. And those experiences of awakenings, let's say, glimpses of awakenings, they are provoked by something of the life or due to some practice. There is a cause. There is a cause because the seeker has been considered as real. And so he gets a so-called real tool to plunge into the river. So it's a blessing to have those experiences of something else than objective experiences. It attests the fire for freedom, but the search is still there because there is a seeker. So the best way, not that there is a way, but at least it is given by the wise, is to inquire about the seeker, about the reality of the seeker, to be able to see that banks and river are in the imagination, they are just an apparent reality. It's not it. I'm not that apparent reality. I am that which allows it or which includes it. And there is no trick. One quality surely is required. It is to want to free oneself, this life, from the illusions he has got about what he thinks he is. I want to be liberated. I want to be free. This life, and at some point it will not be only this life, it will be now. And nobody knows how it can happen, but it happens. Meanwhile, one has just to be very perseverant and fiery to be what is true, what's real. And then the realization is, has more impact what is, which is the same in all living beings, has more impact, more reality than what the individual does. That's realization. Any question about it? About your own journey, experiences? Please tell. Satsang is the best place to have this subject. It can be a tea time subject, and it's good because it means it's a subject one likes. One always likes to bring it. But who knows if it comes from a knowledge from an individual. In satsang, the knowledge doesn't belong to anybody, and it's an occasion to be contagious by that. But surely it's very important to be clear about what is liberation after all. I'm running after what? And it will be easier to know I'm not running anymore after this and that. If this is clear, it's already great. Yeah.
You say this investigation into the reality of I.
Yeah.
Who is going to do that?
The unreal I. But one takes it for real, that's why he's doing it. It is his own ending to ask that. But then who else? If there is any question or anything to do, it's always by somebody. Here, the seeker, called seeker, the one who runs after liberation, and that question is the core of this search. But the particularity is that question is unique in the sense that any other question is busy with an object, let it be outside or let it be inside. Here, the question, the answer of this question is where in and out disappear, is where the questioner disappears as reality. Why not to use this tool? I spoke just now that realization cannot be caused by means. I would make exception for this because this is a subjective means trying to shake. You see, it's the fire for freedom which will do it, because you shake the one who wants liberation or who feels bound. It's quite amazing, no? So this I don't call a means. This I call out of compassion. The wise man could find a way which is obviously efficient, and if it is not, it means the mind has still some power to boycott it. So we are left with what? With this answer.
I can only talk about problems in the past, not now.
Not now. No. Just now. No. Okay?
Still, I want to ask something about problems of yesterday.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Isn't suffering just a part of life that one cannot escape?
I agree with you. Because what is the life? It is this dual creation. There is no creation if it is not dual. So, what is duality? It is not happiness and happiness. It is happiness and suffering. Now the question is, if you know the nature of that, it is said, then you are freed from the tyranny of it.
I can give you one example. I bought a new camper van and I sit there alone with all my emotions, and on top of it a lot of things don't work.
Yeah, so emotions don't work and materiality don't work. Okay. It's the life of a part of aspects of life, yeah? Aspects.
No escape. No.
There is no escape to experience happiness and non-happiness. No escape for the individual. But that's why at some point one really wants to know, but what does it mean, wisdom, after all? This eternal happiness and what they describe, what could it be? It cannot be in what I know, because I always fall into duality. So limited happiness, limited suffering. And so they give this direction, inquire about the subject who has those experiences. Who is this subject? Is there any subject if you don't glue or dress up an experience on it? Tell me.
I lost track.
Okay, come back.
I don't know anymore.
But I think it's good. It's good. It cannot fall into knowledge of the mind. It cannot. Next step is just to surrender. Because now when you say I don't know, it's a kind of, okay, how we would express that in English? I have to admit I don't know anything anymore. There is a kind of feeling about that, negative feeling, a failure, something like. But it will never fall into the knowledge of the mind. So the mind doesn't know. Right. That's right. If you see the greatness of it, then you allow surrender. Oh, my mind will never, cannot catch that. My mind, because my mind doesn't reach there. It comes from there, it disappears there. It cannot give me news from what is. Is hopeless, is helpless. Finally, what a luck. And then, here, keep quiet. When this comes to you, this moment, just keep quiet. Let even this I don't know disappear on its own. Keep quiet. It is that direction where the mind is not there. And do it again and again, as much as you have fire for it. And that will ruin the belief that all this scene is real. It's the only way. For that you need perseverance and you need this desire to make it this life. No.
Well, no lack of problems so far. So I will be motivated to. They can keep coming so far. Problem situations.
Why don't you allow yourself to be freed from problems? Just the time we talk, you went back to your memory that full of problems. Are you so happy with them? They can wait. They can let them wait a minute. Like this one binds himself, you see? I just want you to see that. Like this one binds himself.
The attitude of the mind, he needs food, his problems to survive. The mind needs problems to survive. It's food for the mind.
Yeah, sure. Cool. You're not tired of it.
Exhausted, yeah.
Not enough.
I think it's just a habit, the attitude, to look at the situation and see it as a problem.
You like problems, so you are not enough tired.
Really?
Yeah. Because you see, you want to know what's real, who you really are, but at the same time, you want to have other things. You want to bite in all the, how you say that? In all the plates. It will not work like this. This subject is so uncompromising that you cannot bring a thought with you. That is like that.
A what?
A thought with you. So means you free yourself from your memory, which will always appear and disappear, but then you know this is a bubble, this is an appearance due to past. I will not confuse myself anymore with what appears. But for that, you see, to have that authority, your own conviction, you have to dedicate a moment, a time, dropping everything else. Otherwise it will not work. You will have experiences, you will have some satisfaction, some bit of space of better, something better, but it will not be realization. Which is alright if one is satisfied with that, because life gets better. Life, yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
Even to say I understand is too much. Huh?
You understand, okay, but don't keep it back. You understand, now you forget.
So one will never come to the point where one can say, now finally, it's over, it's done,
Yeah, it will be done when there is nobody there to tell it. It will be self-revelation, and the self doesn't speak that way. But still, one can say, I don't search anymore. It's over. It's a great gift not to search anymore. Even if there is some new extraordinary, so-called the wisest man coming, still coming, and then he appears and tells fantastic realizations, not to be interested by it. I tell you, what a gift. Yeah. Wisdom of the ancient is the same wisdom of the present age, because it is not subject to time. No, it is English. It's not altered by time. There is nothing to add, there is nothing to remove. It is perennial. It will always be that. So, new tricks can be found, can be given by some smart, genius people, but it will always cause glimpses at the best, not realization. And in glimpses, there is always somebody having a glimpse. Even if he says, I'm nobody. It can be an experience. That far the mind is clever. As long as you are still in comparisons, you see. If you say nobody, it's because you have somebody in the mind still. As far as you are in comparisons, you have not gone prior to the mind. You are not freed from the reality of the mind. I'm free, I'm nobody, there is nothing there. Not even that. That can still be learned. That is informed and banalized today. You see, it can be there. And then you can experience what you hear, what your information. What you are cannot fall into anything. But what one has to want that, you see. So
one has to want that for no reason.
Yeah, for the reason to want to be real, to want to know what's real. Of course there's a reason. I want to know. I want to live what the wise tell. Though it looks so far away, do I understand? And then starts the journey, no? Of course. You have enough to live as life presents you things.
Because I want to get rid of suffering, but there's no positive gain.
There is no positive
Gain, there's nothing to gain, in fact, in what you describe. For me.
You have everything to lose of what you thought was real. But don't make it as, oh, then it's emptiness and this and that, you see. You cannot know what it is. You will realize it. There will be a self-revelation, that's better to say. I know the mind loses its tracks. That's why, I repeat, you need a tremendous fire to want it. Otherwise, how you will pass through all those impressions? Oh my God, where do I go? It's mad, and then I am not allowing myself to have a life and this and that. You see, you need a tremendous, which I don't know how to get it. But surely satsang, I think, can inspire and give a push towards it. But it has to correspond to something in you that may be low-key first, and then you are burnt. Yeah. It's up to you, my dear. You have not to, I don't oblige you. But if you want, if you have this surge, it depends, you see, you cannot...
Yeah, but it's so contradictory. What I want, I can't get. Only is offered that which I can't get.
Yeah, but you want to break your head again and again that you don't get what you want. Okay. Do you want still to try? Have you some hope still?
No, my only motivation is to stop the suffering. My only motivation is to stop the suffering.
Yeah, okay. And there are many answers there. But the answers of the wise is there is no happiness in this apparent world. No permanent happiness. That's why they say, they speak of, yes, of course, as long as there is a subject and an object, you will be into this duality. So the ways to inquire about the subject, is there any subject if you don't glue anything on it? That is the direction. There are examples. They are examples of what they express, of what they indicate. It exists. But it's true. You have to be clear that in this duality, it's dual, it will never be one. It will never be one. The oneness is not in this apparent world. The oneness they refer is, I don't even like to use this word, but they refer to what's always there. What is that substratum which allows all this multiplicity, which is the same for all. That way they say one, but I don't like it. It's not two. Okay, it's not two. So instead of being hypnotized, I don't want to suffer, why don't you have a new interest? Oh, I have this passion to know what is it, after all, what it is spoken about. And you will be surprised that maybe suddenly suffering is seen differently. The body suffers, the mind, the emotions, the individual suffer. Who are you? Who are you? Who am I? In reality, who am I? The individual can always appear, disappear. Who am I? I'm that. You don't want to know that? Okay.
Just crossed my mind how so far what I do with suffering, my attitude to it.
Yeah, but I would like that you shift to this passion, and then that will be solved. Make it a passion. An interest, big interest. Yes.
Change direction, change the interest.
Yeah. No more the old ways.
I don't want to be filmed anymore.
Anybody else wants to tell something? Many new faces, huh? Hi, welcome.
Mine is more not a question, but an ask for help.
Yeah,
So, in order to sort of free ourselves
in order to, Yeah.
from the suffering, if our suffering is connected to another person who we love dearly,
mm-hmm.
a family member,
Yeah,
mine
yeah.
is my son,
Yeah,
I feel I don't know what to do to help him anymore.
yeah,
But I feel very bound to him as his mother.
yeah.
I don't know what to do.
As a mother, there is not much to do. She will feel what you feel probably till that period is gone.
It's going on a
But
long
you can,
time.
you, huh?
It's going on a long time with
Yeah,
his
yeah, but as a
suffering.
mother, listen to me.
Yes,
As a mother, okay, is the way it is. Now, are you only a mother? No. So from where you have that conviction? What do you mean by that? I'm not only a mother.
My identity is who I am, what my path is, my direction, myself. And I feel my job sometimes is like a job to help my son, and I don't feel like I'm doing a very good
But
job.
I understand. I just try to help you. Again, I ask, are you only a mother? Do you feel your identity is only a mother? Or you have other roles, you have seen something else about you? You have to answer me.
Yes, I do feel as though I've seen something else about me.
Yeah,
that I
okay,
need to-
okay. And what is, in your terms, that something else? Which direction it takes?
Follow this path to find the freedom,
Yeah.
find the freedom, and maybe my path, I feel I would like to follow the path to find
Yeah, okay.
freedom, enlightenment,
Yeah.
but whilst I'm still so bound to my son.
Yeah, I understand. I try to not to remove the bond. Mother and son are bond, okay. But if you see that it's part of this manifestation, and I have also many other roles in this manifestation, and actually, who am I actually really? What this birth enlightenment refers to? Maybe if you dedicate some time to that, there will be some kind of relief. And you never know the effect of reliefs. But that's not also, controllable. But at least remember, when it is the peak of suffering, actually, I'm not only a mother, and I will not help if I myself suffer, like my son does after all. You see? Try to be freed, but at split second, because you are so glued at the mom, you cannot do more, and it doesn't matter. But try to go to this different direction. Who am I? Forgetting for a split second that you are a mom. Yeah? Did you hear that?
I do
Will you do it?
I will.
Okay. And then you tell me. you see this apparent world looks like endless, and this continuity, the experience of continuity is there. Actually, things disappear too, huh? Really. One helps more in giving up than in trying to... Yeah.
Is the self larger than I?
The self?
Is it larger than I? Sorry, if I go back to the bank and move, can there be a little bit of self in this bank?
You see, when you go back to the bank, you mean you had a dip, you swam in the river? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, but you contain what the river looks lighter, it's another something else than the bank, okay? Otherwise you would not compare like that. So you have a flavor of something else. But you will dry up. And then you will have to again go in if you find it's more real or more pleasant experience. So you can't help till you realize to experience that, but you have to know that it's because you still believe that the one who dips is real. Otherwise there would not be any bank. The banks is the agendas of the life. All what we built, the memories. That's the bank. The individuality. But to know that, it's great. To hear there is no bank, no river, in truth, it's already a good blow.
I have to spend a lot of time on this bank to realize it as it is.
No, you have to spend less time on the bank to realize it. Oh, yeah, sure.
Maybe with your help.
You come to satsang. Come to satsang. You see, the help is just to be reminded again and again. And when you expose, it's good you spoke, you see, because I have to spend more time on the bank. It's not a play of word that I tell. No, you have to spend less time. Means inquire, shake that so-called reality of the bank. That impact has to be stronger now. Because then, if that is stronger, if you start to remember, oh, what I thought of myself is a bank, and actually there is no truth in it. If you spend some time again and again, it will shake the belief. Yeah. There will be no sage on the bank of the river. these are epinal images to attract to this path. Yeah.
I don't know what I could say a lot of things, but I have to. Okay, you have to not believe that there's an I. I mean, sometimes I can inquire and there's quietness.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
But,
How not to go back to
I mean,
the rising?
I mean, I still feel interest in some things
Mm.
in the world, but yes, there are things cause suffering. It doesn't go right.
Know that this is the individual. You can label them. This is the individual. But I've tasted, I've seen, I'm not that in reality. Not in the appearance. In reality, I'm not that. But the individual functions, yeah, and has emotions and experiences.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see myself as a total ascetic, but on the other hand, I think it's too much. I don't want to suffer from it.
You don't want to suffer. Yeah, who wants to? Yeah, sure. It's terrible, but that's why it becomes urgent to know who you really are. Because as an individual, how can you escape it? You are born, you will suffer, and you will die. And some pleasures in between, of course. I'm not a negative one, but...
No, but also,
So it's urgent to realize who you are.
how to make it so clear that, I mean, it's...
What
said
is
that-
not clear? What is not clear? It looks clear. What is not clear?
I mean, it's said that, okay, I doesn't really exist.
I?
I doesn't exist. The I,
Yeah, doesn't exist. It's apparent, but it has no substance of reality in it. Yeah, okay. But you cannot see that as an I. You have to realize to see that.
yeah.
Yeah. You can believe, you can trust. It can...
How then to fully see that? Because
Hmm?
how then to fully see that?
You
because-
can. You have to realize.
Yeah.
You can have perfume of it, you can have glimpses. As you say, when you inquire, you love it because it looks like you freed yourself from something, from I, even maybe. But why do you, when something rises, why do you take it again as completely real? Maybe now you will hear it.
Yeah, because I think it's, you see, I still expect some sort of happiness from that.
Some enlightened being you expect. Some wise man on the bank. Yeah, we all
No, I don't
wish that.
I
Huh?
don't care too much about that, but
Okay.
just not to suffer. Really.
My dear,
I mean,
for that.
Okay, so yes, okay, so the body can suffer, but then how to be not attached?
In inquiring. Inquiring ruins the habit of thinking that this world is real. But it means also that when something rises, when you inquire, that's why Papaji said keep quiet, but one doesn't understand. He meant don't catch what rises just after, because then you would not honor what you have seen, what your quietness, your freedom, your natural state. So you may fail for the second, third, but at least the first ruins the total tyranny of the previous mind. So do it again and again. Maybe up to the end of your life. Maybe before, but who cares? Who cares? Unless you still have a doubt or you are not clear that it is like that. After all, you heard quite a lot. So, how come? So, what was not clear, I want to know, is because when you inquire, you feel quiet and you don't understand why. After all, it's not the end of it. What is not clear? I see one thing, but I want to see if you see it.
I know what to say, a few things. Okay, so one thing, like, said that, like, nothing ever happens, so there's no reality to it.
Yeah.
Not a single thought, it's imagination.
Yeah.
But then in a way, it didn't stop.
My dear, do you think that you will understand the whole vastitude of it? Maybe you didn't hear. It cannot be understood by the mind. You will understand through revelation, self-revelation, not through the mind. But for self-revelation, you have to leave space to your original nature for a split second and know that from there what rises is just the mind. And decide, I will not go there this time. Even if it looks the most essential question which will make end to my search. That much. So swallow or spit this how. This is the trouble. As if how will bring something substantial. It's the mind. It's an open gate to fully be swallowed by the mind. By now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many times, like I try that, like I can have many thoughts and that could be present, but then I think, no, it's also
Yeah, that's why
the mind.
self-inquiry has to be done again and again.
I also don't want to be like some repressed something. I don't want to.
So you want to have a life in a certain way, to be more happy, and you want to realize it will not go It will not do. Do one of the two, and then you take the other one after, if you like.
I mean, at least I don't want to, because it, maybe before at least I could have had the tendency to repress something. Anyway, I just want to be sure not to.
You see, in this part, it means nothing to be frustrated or not. Anyway, in this life, we cannot fulfill everything we wish.
But anyway,
We are just like unfinished sculptures, and it will die this way. But we will be free.
no, I think even if you satisfy thousands of desires, I think I still not feel happy from that.
Yeah. So you will sit with the same, or something has been solved or not? Something has to be solved. Have you seen something clearer now or not? Or tell what's the problem?
The same thing, I mean, I just want to use.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
But I suppose one small question.
Yeah, sure.
Is still what was said, nothing ever happens, so no thought has reality.
No thoughts?
No thought has any reality.
Mm.
It's just like an illusion.
Mm.
But then again, at the same time, it still seems to appear. And though okay, I read a while ago
Not there, yeah.
that this is said that you're not the body, that it's to at a certain. It's just to help to get some distance from that, but in the end, that it's not that you're not the body, but that you're everything.
Yeah, but you try to understand. And you may a bit understand, but you will be... I wanted to say a strong word, but... off.
No, I don't know, I just wanted to...
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
Listen.
Clear about it.
If there is still an appearance, it will be the individual with his life. And what is an individual? It is a body-mind. And what does it mean, body-mind? Experiences and all. Not that they will appear less strong or this or that or more light. No. This is like that. It carries its own... Huh?
That things may appear, but then you're just like... And how not?
No, there is not that separation. That's what the mind doesn't understand. It's not like you are an eternal witness and you see your individual going here and feeling. No. And that cannot be understood. Impossible to understand. And yet, as an individual, having seen that it is of the apparent reality and you have seen what is, there is no more that seeking. Why? Probably because there is no more gaps or two or something is left you. This is impossible to understand. You see, even if you read the story, the life of Papaji or Ramana, when their life is full of happenings. And yet, it declares nothing ever happens. So, he speaks the truth. All the rest is in the apparent world. And he was in this apparent world. It happened to the individual Punjaji. All these happenings related to the stories. but he didn't confuse, in fact, himself for that. He speaks from the truth, nothing happens. I am that.
So just less or no belief in
That.
So it's just less or no belief in anything what you see. Any thought. There's just no belief.
It's what? I don't
So less believe in anything you see or think.
Ah.
There's just no belief in
But don't ask me. I finish my search. If you have not finished, you have to inquire. Why should I have your problem if I finish my search? No, but I say, so if you have not finished the search, finish off. And the way is, again I tell you, who has this problem? Okay, you can reply I as an individual because it's the one you think you are. Okay, who is this I? And the answer is into that direction where the question disappears. It is as simple as that. Again, quickly, the world reappears and the individual reappears. But at least, at first, you know, not this, I'm not this. And you keep quiet where you are left. And then again, of course, you will feel identified, I'm out again. But if you do inquiry again and again, it will ruin the impression that you are always in and out. Perseverant, be perseverant, don't despair, is the way it is. Yet I think you hear better today than in any other time. Sometimes the same thing you see, you hear, need years to be heard. But you see, this path, when it is long, it's a long path, okay, 20 years and what not. There is a kind of fatigue of the individual. It's enough. But that's a good sign, because up to now there is a kind of enjoyment to go for the right direction. I'm going to, I'm doing well. Then you don't do well at all because there was never a path. But all those things you hear suddenly after 20 years. Yeah.
I hear.
But that's great.
Hear it more.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like
So don't despair.
I'd like to come to satsang.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also like what Kabir says. He's often reminding about death. The death is coming. It could come at any moment.
Yes. That's why at some point it is now, you see. Now, why not to finish this journey after all, even though it was quite good to be a seeker, quite a blessing already. But after all, it's also in the imagination. Let me see the real thing.
Ganga,
Yeah, Rishi, I call him Rishi now. Yeah, Rishi.
So when you said yesterday that you never questioned your base, I think is what you
Yeah,
said.
but it was not a good student.
Yeah, but that, so the self-inquiry you talk about, that is specifically questioning the base.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, because it's probably not true, but why not to make it shorter?
Yeah.
But you know, we don't know what works. Huh?
Yeah.
In fact, also, this has to be said. And yet, surely it will not be in non-inquiring. Yeah? Okay. You like it? You are taken by
Yeah,
it?
I like the phrase questioning your base.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the root. Because there seems to have been some change in that when I looked at the thoughts with you, I'm not self-realized and I am self-realized.
Yeah.
And
That's enough.
yeah,
So you are that, the seer who sees that.
Ganga? You say a few times that the self reveals itself.
Yeah. The self reveals itself. Yeah.
So I can't say that that's the case here. Even though there is all
So who has that doubt?
the mind,
Yeah.
the I.
The I. Maybe I is too much there.
Must be.
So
But I have this concept.
So-
that
let the mind be helpless and hopeless. What a blessing.
is the whole world so much against that people know who you are? Why is it not being taught in school?
In Holland, I think they are ready for it. School may be a bit early because you need to have a strong individuality to question it. It's a paradox. Eh? But this is a school also. Eh?
But it's like in the world, everybody wants you to be happy, but without knowing who you are.
Yes, my dear, this is the voice of the world, yeah. And they are successful. Yeah.
What if the mind becomes your best friend?
Oh, or it's a curse or it's a luck. Depends from where you speak.
Like you treat yourself like you will treat your best friend, your children? Do you start talking to yourself like you will talk to someone else and needs your help?
And you are capable to do that all the time.
Well, most of the time, yes. But when I become the observer, I'm not doing that. I'm judging myself. I'm feeling the guilt, the shame that my parents taught me.
Yeah.
That that's the way.
Yeah.
I observe myself, and then I just, like what I would do with my daughter. I feel like, why are you feeling like this? What are you doing that to yourself? So I'm relearning how to treat myself better than my inner child.
Yeah. It's a very good therapy.
That is the best way I've found.
Yeah.
So far from me.
As a therapy, it's nice. It's nice. No. Okay, do it if you like. It's better than to consider all as an enemy.
Well,
But it's not freedom. But it's a beautiful way to be a beautiful being.
what is freedom? If you always have this mind, it's part of us too. So if instead of ignoring the mind, instead we become one with the mind and with your heart, and you become the observer instead of the victim. It's like having a movie. Instead of being one of the characters, you become the director of the movie. So you can choose even your thoughts. When you observe that you're having these thoughts of suffering,
if you are
choose
you
to
are
stop.
happy with that, you do it. I will not boycott it at all. But I have another way that I'm happy with, but I can accept them. If it suits you, I'm very happy.
Do you have thoughts? Or you are in a level that you don't have thoughts anymore?
I don't need to reply anymore. In satsang, I prefer to speak about what's real, you see. If I start to say, yes, I still have thought and this and that, it's complicated, because then everybody's experience is like this. It's much better to always point out, how is it possible if there was no substratum? What is this substratum? And where is the place of the bird in all this affair? But you see, everybody has his own search and his own answers, and it's also good. It's just not my path.
Yeah, that's why I would like to know your path. How do you do? How's the dialogue inside of you with your own self? Like, how, that's what I would like to know.
Yeah.
Like,
If I
I'm
have a
sharing what I
dialogue.
found.
Yeah.
I would like to hear what do you found in yourself.
But the search is gone. I don't have those questions. Surely as an individual, I had quite thousands of questions. It's gone, you see, so I don't reply. Not that I don't want, but it's not my way. Maybe the thoughts became, they lost their reality, so their experience as intense as before, probably, maybe not everything, things go on changing also. But if you don't place yourself in this apparent reality, it's a game, it's a play. Sometimes good, sometimes less good. But it will not shake, even when it's less good. Let's speak of that. It will not give me a search anymore to make it better or whatever, or to avoid it. So you see, the path is different in that way. But I'm happy if you found something.
Yeah, I just wanted
Yeah.
to share
What's your
something.
name?
Maria.
The first, I think the first suffering is to search, because one thinks he's someone and he feels separated or frustrated or deeply unsatisfied or incomplete, so he searches to fill the gaps and to be different. The search is misery. Is misery.
What do you mean with searching? Because we all search in Google, right? Things. I'm sure you also search in
Yes.
Google questions or information or things. So search is when you become fully present in the now, like.
No. Then you don't
here?
search. No. When you search, it is irrational. You have a search because, in fact, you tried many things and it didn't work. For example, maybe there are many ways to say, but and then suddenly you are struck, or it comes by itself in you. Oh, I will try. Only thing I didn't try is the voice of the Buddhas, of those enlightened beings, as we say. And what do they say? And then you start to learn, to be clear, you try so many things, and you start to understand that the whole travel is because there is a seeker. It's not so much there is an object of search because there is a seeker. To remove the search will not be by fulfilling something about your search. It will be in removing the reality of the seeker and identify myself with the seeker. Oh, what to do then? And that's here that you have to ask help to someone who did the work for himself, so he knows the way. And the way often is expressed in inquire, do self-inquiry about that. And to remove the base which makes you search, which makes you finally a seeker. It will not by becoming a finder, but it will be by removing the reality of the seeker.
So when you remove that, what happens? Like, you become what? You just become, right? You become...
No, the
true to
realization is not to become, the realization is to see that you always have been that. And that is not very understandable, but yet it's a clear sentence which has its meaning.
Just be who you are, right?
Yeah.
Be your nature.
Yeah, the nature. Yeah, original nature. It's